5, 4, 3, 2. Bryan for Jobs, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're on. Hi, everybody. I am Maisha Hoy, better known as Maisha for Kamala. But I just want to introduce my businesses in case you need marketing help. Customer First Marketing, just in case you're a Black-owned brand. QBob, and if you are an entrepreneur who just need a little bit of push, MaishaLemonadeStand.com. And Bryan?
Hi, Bryan Jobs, former soul train dancer. You might have seen me on my podcast. I don't know why that's funny. I can't get through my whole introduction without you laughing. We will get to that. You might have seen me on my podcast, Between Two Firms. I'm a comedian, political consultant. I was on season 8, Married at First Sight, a Philadelphia version. Just here to talk to the people about this very, very important election.
Yes. But before we do that, Married at First Sight is my favorite show. I can't decide between Married at First Sight and Love is Blind. So give us the Married at First Sight story.
Well, first of all, I despise all reality TV shows. I do with the passion. However, strategically, Married at First Sight, I filled out 1,000 questions about me, about what my mate, and everything. I was intrigued because they paid for your wedding, they paid for your honeymoon, and they paid for the divorce. And I always throw it out there, and everyone was like, they paid for the divorce. Hey, in this case, like 50% of the time, people end up deciding to get a divorce. So it was all taken care of. I'm like, this is perfect. But you're marrying a complete stranger. 50,000 people applied. I got down to 15. I got on the opening credits for the first episode, but I didn't make it onto the actual show. I didn't marry anyone. So, but it was an eye-opening experience. It was a lot of fun.
So, do you know why you didn't make it to the show? Because you're so funny and so devilishly handsome.
I think two things. I think they were on to me that I wanted to be famous more than be married. And I'm going to be honest with you, as a Black male, I've been detained a couple of times, and I did not disclose that. The person on the previous season lied about her background check, and as they were going through customs for their anniversary, she got detained in customs because she had a case about stalking her ex-boyfriend, which I think is hilarious. That they didn't do a background check on this girl, stalking her ex-boyfriend. Now she's marrying a stranger. I thought that was hilarious. But then when it comes to me, they're like, "Hey, have you ever been charged with a crime?" What does the crime mean, Jim? I mean, I gave you authorization from my background. You do the homework. You figure it out. I was like, "Hey," so I don't know if that had something to do with it or not.
I'm sure it did. And speaking from the women of America, we may have dodged a bullet.
Listen, I was going to have fun with it. It was going to be good for TV, and they knew it. I was going to make the most of it, but yes, I'm probably not ready for marriage. You're probably okay.
All right, let's get back to why we have decided to do this. And just so people know, we've done 3 or 4 episodes, but we haven't done in a while. So we have a lot to catch up on. A lot of things. This election is like so fast. So when is the last time that we spoke? Was it the Oprah interview?
I believe it was about a month ago after the DNC convention. I think it was the last time that we spoke.
No, we spoke with, so obviously things have happened. We had the Oprah interview. We had the vice president debate. We had the Fox interview last night. So I'm calling this conversation, why are the polls neck and neck? And I'm blaming Bryan and I, because we haven't done this in so while that people have decided that they didn't care or they were apathetic or whatever the reasons why. But I'm glad that you're a political consultant, because my first question is, how important was the vice president debate?
Me being a podcaster and a hoster, I think your next question or the other part of the question is, how important is the vice presidential candidacy, and how important is the vice president? So the vice presidential debate was good.
Are you mansplaining my question?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to add levity to this. Life is better with levity. What I'm saying is the vice presidential debate was the big nothing burger, right? It was very cordial. They were very respectful to each other. It was good. I think JD Vance, if you want to score points, obviously everyone knows consistently that Kamala won the presidential debate. Vice presidential debate, I give the nod to JD Vance. Just a slight nod. The guy is well polished. He's Ivy League educated. He's a Marine. He came correct. He was respectful, and the way he speaks, it's more fluid. It's more articulate than the Midwesterner, Governor Walz. I think Governor Walz is a better human being, but I think JD Vance was a better debater, and he got an edge in that debate. I don't think that's the reason why the polls are so close. I think Kamala not giving interviews and giving, going on Oprah and going on the Breakfast Club and these friendly places has caught up to her. And I think right now, while we're about 2 weeks out of the actual election, and early elections already happened here in Georgia, and it's been a record turnout already. So this is a very important debate. I think now that I don't want to say she might have been their strategy to do these harder interviews as we get closer to the election. So now she went on with Bret Baier, who is not Bret Baier from Fox is not a friend of Trump. He's not fond of Trump. He's a hard news journalist, and I thought he was tough, and I thought he was fair. I think that people, and then even within the Democratic Party, the whole idea of Barack going after black men and saying you guys have to get out. And listen, these are the reasons.
Land the plane, because I have a.
Sure, I think those are the reasons why it's as close as it is.
But even before we get to that, something you said, so I watched the vice president debate, and I was surprised at how non-combative JD Vance was. I watched the Fox News interview, and I don't know Brett, whatever his last name is. I'm not a Fox News. Yeah, I'm Bret Baier. I only watched it for the interview. But again, I thought he did a great job as far as interview is supposed to go. I thought it made her a little bit combative. And so I thought that was both interesting that they took the softer side of I don't want to say Bret Baier was soft, but the softer side of interview, or maybe just professional. They were both professional in their appearance.
If I can say something really quick, the thing about Fox is that people have to be able to compartmentalize opinion shows versus hard news. If you go on Hannity, that's an opinion show. If you go on Laura Ingraham, that's an opinion show. Tucker Carlson, when he's on there, those are opinion shows. Bret Baier does hard news. If you watch Fox News Sunday, that's hard news. It's still slanted. I mean, everyone knows Fox is the counterbalance to the left, but they try to be they're actual journalists that are doing those interviews. So I thought he did a good job. And you're right. And so listen, I like Kamala. I'm voting for Kamala. I'm not in love with Kamala. That's me. And I'm getting to know her more and more and more as we go. And I think that when people say she does word salads is what the right always says.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think when she gives an interview, I get frustrated that she talks slowly. And this is something I think maybe she takes this from Trump. Trump never answers a question. Hey, Trump, was the election stolen? Well, we moved forward. There was definitely some. It's a yes or no question. Trump, was the election stolen? Well, there were definitely some irregularities. Trump, it was Biden elected. Biden is the president. You're not answering the question, and I think she's doing that now too. And I don't know if it's a strategy like, hey, Trump can lie, he can steal, he can do whatever, and not lose any of his base. I think more politicians should take a page out of this playbook, because if you want everything to be equal, fair ground, this dude lies. Like, he goes on TV, he does 2 truths and a lie. And
I don't even think he does 2 truths. I think. So I listened to my favorite podcast with Anthony Scaramucci and the other lady from Britain, and what they said yesterday was
what's that. The podcast?
I'll Google it while you're talking next. That Trump gets a pass on everything. He gets a pass on everything, and it goes back to we were talking earlier. We had to start over. Something you said made me think about it. Like, you started jobs so people can see how you operate, how you work, and whether you're a good fit or not. And I'm like, as a Black person in America, we are so used to having to prove ourselves constantly. I feel it's unfair that we are not doing the same thing for Trump. He gets to say whatever, do whatever, but as soon as Kamala makes one grammatical error, it's like, oh, she's inarticulate and unintelligent, which we all know is not true. So yeah, Trump gets a pass, and this is why I don't like Trump running for election ever again.
I agree, but as a political consultant analyst, there is a fascination with Trump. He's changed the political trajectory in regard to
Absolutely.
political correctness. You can throw out the window, and what he's trying to represent, he does like a voodoo magic trick. He's like, I'm anti-government, and I'm here for the small people. If they come at me, they're coming after you. And he's is in a whole different stratosphere than everyone else that's voting for him. And this dude started off winning, coming out the womb winning, and he's making this case that he's for the little guy.
He's a victim. He acts like he is the victim.
But listen, I would give him credit. Like, you know, as a comedian, we turn problems into punchlines, right?
That's why I love comedians. I love comedians.
Comedians for Kamala. We don't let anything come at us and let us get down. So this guy goes to jail, gets a mugshot, and turns that into a, hey, these black people are gonna like me because I relate to them. I got mugshots, and I'm like, yo, anyone else in the history of the planet would say that, and they would be toast. And this guy already is toast because he's orange, but I'm saying, like, he gets to say that and he gets away with it. And to me, it's hilarious. This guy's selling Bibles. Listen, selling Bibles. We find out his Bibles are made in China. Okay? He's selling Bibles for like $260, $60, $70. The Bibles are made in China. And he's like, oh, China. Oh, I don't like China. And then the reason they're saying they're from China is because Biden got rid of Trump's tariff. So they're saying, oh, because there's no tariff, I can get cheap labor in China, so I'm going to utilize that. But guess what? We don't like the guy. It's just it's
insanity. It's so when it's insanity. So when Hakeem Jeffries,
he's probably never read the Bible. He took a picture with the Bible held upside down. I mean, come on.
And so this is why when Hakeem Jeffries used the bad boyfriend analogy, speaking of Married at First Sight, I was like, this is exactly why I'm doing this. I can't get rid of this boyfriend no matter how hard I try. I blocked him. I voted him out. I said, you know, it's not going to work for me. Let me go. I've done all this, but yet my title says Maisha for Kamala, but we spend a lot of time on Old Orange and hoping he doesn't get elected. So let's talk about, why do you think the polls are neck and neck?
First of all, I got to get back to that bad boyfriend analogy.
I love the bad boyfriend. I love it.
That a couple of times, and I'm not really familiar with it. But I mean, because I'm a great boyfriend, so I don't know what bad boyfriends are. Married at First Sight, you guys missed out on a good one. So I think that number one, there's a couple states like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and there's maybe like Vegas, that, or Arizona, that are key states. Like there's 5 states that are gonna you know, determine this election. And I think that people, I don't know which way this is going to go in regard to people. The last time when Trump ran, people told the pollsters that they would not vote for Trump, and they went behind that curtain and they voted for Trump. Now, a lot of people,
when he ran his first election,
first time, so no one knew where this was coming from, because no one wanted to go out around and tell people, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. But then they went behind in the privacy of their own ballot box and they voted for him. So this time around, people are saying that, you know, black people will say they don't get polled because, like, you come up to a black person with a clipboard, they're gonna be like, who this? Like, I don't want to give you my information or whatever. So I think it's close because it's always going to be close. Every election in this country is so divided right now that it's always going to be neck and neck, no matter who's on the ballot of either ticket. And I think that, again, she had a nice little honeymoon, and then reality started to sink in. You have to do these interviews. You have to go out there and tell people what your policies are. And I think them not doing that, the right really took advantage of that. They attacked, and people kept saying, we don't know what she stands for. And now, strategically, in the, not like the 10th hour, not the 11th hour, she's going out there. She released like 80 pages on her website in regard to what her policies are. And she's coming up with a plan. And I think that the more that she talks, good, bad, or indifferent, like the border situation she doesn't really have a good answer for the fact that what's happened under her administration, and I hate, and I'll land the plane in a second. I think it's sneaky how they keep saying it's her administration. It's Biden's administration. She's the VP, but they're putting everything on her plate like it's her responsibility. And they called her up saying, how would your administration look different than the current administration? She didn't articulate the answer on her interview with The View. And now she's saying my presidency will look very different than Biden's presidency, which I think is that I don't think that you want to articulate like that. I think that you want to say it's a continuation, but there will be, as America evolves and we have new challenges, we'll have new policies. But it will be an extension of because Biden has done a good job. So I think that those things, not having the answer on how our administration will look different, and the border situation is really weighing down on her. And I'll say this, and I'll give it back to you. When Trump killed that bill, that was a good bill. Would have gave 1,500 more border agents. It would have given more money to the agency. And Trump told everyone, and it was a bipartisan bill that would have done good. And Trump strategically had it shot down. Now I think I don't know if it's 10 million people. I don't know what the number is. Have entered this country illegal, undocumented under their administration. That's a big deal. Now when you talk about what's happening with the resources going from blacks to undocumented people, that is a sore in the eye of black people. Like, hey, we can't get healthcare, we can't get this, we can't get that, but you have these people in here that are coming in here, not playing by the rules, and you're giving them all these benefits. So I think those are the reasons that it's as close as it is. So
I agree with you. That she needs to go on the offensive, but she was on the offensive when she first started. I'm not sure of facts and figures, but the immigration, she was able to say, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did. The Trump tactic of scaring us, that allowing illegal immigrants, let me tell you, I've seen a couple of commercials. I'm like, oh my gosh, she did that. She let the immigrant in and he murdered somebody and raped. That has given me pause, but I do understand, only because I'm now a news junkie. That is not her fault. Like last night, Brett kept trying to say, will you apologize to that family? And she didn't answer. She didn't not answer, but
I'm sorry. She said, I'm so sorry.
She did not say she was sorry. Well, we can look at the tape, but she did not say she was sorry and I know why. She did not say I would apologize to the family. She was sorry in general that this happens in America. I guess we have to get the progressive red tape to see.
Because he said, do you want to apologize? And she said, I am so sorry for what happened to that girl and her family. I can't imagine what they went through. So I guess, do you name the family and say, hey family, I'm looking at you, I'm sorry?
I think so. I've always thought that the president of the United States is responsible for the whole of us, not individually. Because if you start apologizing individually, I get the stories and why it's so compelling, but if you start apologizing individually, someone else gets hurt. There's no policy. Let me finish. There's no policy that you create that doesn't actually hurt someone else in a way, right? Whether somebody's pocket, so I don't know how this is why I would never be president, navigate that part. But immigration, I think he's killing us on immigration because he's also doing the whole, as he always does, fear. So create a system that welcomes them, and you don't have to fear anybody. There's criminals in the United States that are doing worse than what these immigrants are doing.
Three things. You are correct. As a salesperson, which I am, Ryan Jobs for hire, no job too big, no job too small. Salespeople sell on fear. So it is going to be fear mongering. And another thing, going back to what I said before about how I don't like how they're so slick with making everything that happened in the last 4 years Kamala's fault. Because there is a president, she is supporting a president, and they can't attack Biden because Biden's not running. So they don't actually know what her policy is going to be like. That's why it's important for her to articulate. But for me, and again, I think Donald Trump has read one book, Art of War, and he stuck to it. He doesn't apologize for anything.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
I like the idea that she attempted to say, listen, it is a mistake. It was on our watch. And take, like I think LBJ said, the buck stops here. So just own up to it, own up. And you can say two things. You can say, we had a bill to address this. Trump killed it. And since Trump killed it, this allowed this to happen. And we're going to continue to fight to make sure that we don't make these mistakes again. End of story.
End of story. So just so you know, the podcast is The Rest is Politics, U.S. version.
Politics, U.S. version?
The Rest is Politics, and it's the U.S. version, because they've done it in Britain and now they brought it over to us.
I like the producers on this podcast that we're on, that they fact check in real time. I like that. It's good stuff.
Okay. So we really not going to be able to answer the question of the neck and neck because it's so subjective. You're saying Black people are not answering polls. I know just during the debate, I looked at my text messages and I had 30 texts asking me for money. I can't even tell you.
I don't know who these people are. They keep hitting me up. I'm Jamal. Kamala Harris campaign. There was a dude who came up to me and he gave me a video in Spanish. And I was like, bruh. It was in Spanish, but then he translated it in English. So I'm like, man, these people, is Kamala's birthday coming up? I thought I saw a text message that she's having a birthday party coming up. I don't know. I'm getting these things left and right.
Left and whoever is the marketing person, the digital person, you are doing a fantastic job, but I refuse to, I'm scared to donate, even though I would like everyone to donate to Maisha for Kamala, because we need the Harris Victory Fund needs the money.
You know, I got one Republican text. I unsubscribed to that real quick. And I thought about unsubscribing because I'm like, yo, these people hate me up. Middle of the night. Hey, Ryan, what's going on? You want to go for a walk with us? You want to go on a bus ride? You want to go on a state tour?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. So, all right. So my tagline is do more. So I'm thankful that you were able to jump on and we got to do this again. It's only 18 more days to the election.
Well, I will say this. Don't say that many more days till everyone. Early voting has started now.
Oh yeah, I did my mail-in ballot. I was going to ask you, what's your voting plan?
Because the thing is if a hurricane comes in North Carolina or Georgia or Florida and the polling places get moved, you don't want to be there at the last hour, and the polling places your vote won't count, and everyone get out and vote early. But I want to say vote often, but I can't say it. Get out. Yo, get out and vote early.
Because I was like, oh, I'm in Philly, but I'm going to Louisiana I'll be in Louisiana. So can I vote twice? I will not have an illegitimate vote. Everyone, I will not. My one vote will count. So do you have your voting plan? And we can end it with that.
Yeah, I got my ballot and I'm sending it in because I am in the great state of Georgia, but I'm still registered in Pennsylvania, which is funny because all these people hit me up saying, hey, can you do a bus tour with you? I'm like, hey, that's an 11-hour drive for me, so it's going to be a little bit challenging. But when you say do more, I am doing DJ at the polls down here in Georgia. And I have a question for you, final thoughts. Do you think they'll figure out who the winner is on November 5th? And do you think if Trump does not win, he will concede?
I do think we will have a projected winner, Kamala Harris. I don't think Trump will concede. I think he already has the paperwork ready to file in every single state that he does not win. So it's going to be a minute.
I don't understand. It was the safest election ever. And now because of what's happened the last election, everyone is on high alert. So it's like, who has the opportunity to cheat now? Everyone's watching. I don't get it.
It's because of him. Yeah. I mean, he's the only every president, except even when Gore won. This is going way back. Even when he won,
yeah,
he accepted the vote of the Supreme Court as okay. I lost.
You know what is the irony of that? He is the one that the vice president who presided over the Senate and could have done what Trump wanted Pence to do, but no one has done in the history of this great nation. It's just funny, the irony. And he
When they go low, we go high stuff, right? It's so my party is we will see Ryan and I again. We will try to do this more because we only got a few days left. I want all of you to vote by mail early so that you know that your vote is counted and make a plan.
I think she might go on Joe Rogan, so stay tuned for that.
Oh my God, that would be so, oh my gosh.
All right, good stuff.
All right, bye everybody. We'll see you soon.